Good morning everyone and welcome back to the Two-Headed Wolf Gaming channel, as today we're gonna start a campaign in Total War Pharaoh Dynasties. I haven't played this game in a very long time, for multiple reasons, but since then the game has had at least 2 major updates plus a bunch of fixes, which I'm not necessarily expecting, but I'm really hoping that they have made the game feel much better. And today I woke up with a big curiosity in mind, to play one of the factions which we have played before in Total War Troy, and that they have brought into Total War Pharaoh with the Dynasties expansion. Of course I am talking about the King of Mycenae, Agamemnon. Total War Troy is not my favorite Total War, but I do appreciate it for the many unique ideas which they've tried to implement, and I feel like in the end they've done a decent job at it, to where I do like to play Total War Troy every once in a while. And so today I want to play with Agamemnon, and I don't want to just see them present on the map, just a bunch of units with the skin of the Greek soldiers from Total War Troy. I want to see a full integration into the mechanics that we have seen in Total War Pharaoh when playing one of the Egyptian factions. Just to give an example at the top of my head so that you can understand better, while playing the Egyptian factions, you have the possibility of building these grand monuments, which take a bunch of turns, and not only that, they have multiple phases where you need to gather resources and they take multiple turns to complete, and when you finish one of these grand monuments, you get faction-wide bonuses. I do want to see the same sort of experience when playing, in this situation, a Greek faction. I want us to build, I don't know, the statue of Zeus, the temple of Artemis, whatever it is. I want to see it. I want us to spend multiple turns and gather a bunch of resources to build these grand monuments. And I want to see multiple of these mechanics being implemented into playing Agamemnon, and we'll see whether this actually achieves it or whether it disappoints in the end. But for now, Agamemnon, the King of Mycenae, who wishes to see his name writ large across the Aegean and beyond, casting down his Trojan competitors. As much as he wishes to dominate the battlefields with his superior control over logistics and the capable aid of his brother Menelaus, he will also stop at nothing to establish his influence and heap glory on his name by any possible means. So we're gonna go with a normal campaign here. We'll check the gods and the units once we're on the campaign map. I think the only thing which I'm curious about is some of these faction buildings, just to see in what direction, what are our big bonuses, I guess, in this situation. What can we build that will push our factions further in comparison to some of the other factions. So we have here Lavageta's Palace. I don't know how to read that exactly. We'll call it Lavageta's. Lavageta's Palace provides us with +2 to happiness and 7 influence in the province. And whenever we have high influence in the region, we get +4 to legitimacy and +1 to victory points. Okay, so this is something to keep in mind as we're getting closer to a victory condition. Royal Workshop provides us with bronze, and Damos Farming Community provides us with food. Now, I'm not necessarily sure why these are such unique buildings, unless, and this is something which I will keep in mind to check, if we are in a region and we can build a food producing building and maybe a multiplier to that food producing building, and on top of that we have this Damos Farming Community, then I consider this to be great. But if we have a food region which can build just this Damos Farming Community, I don't feel like this is such a unique building, you know? So it has to be like a secondary building that we can throw into that region, which will highly boost the production of food for our faction. Damokoros road infrastructure provides us with 20% movement on land and reduces the construction cost of building in the provinces by 50%. Oh, but only for outposts. That's impressive. Outposts, generally speaking, you are not constructing all the time. If it was for all buildings in the region, then that would have been worth it a lot more. But we shall see. Depends on what outposts we can build with this particular faction. Bring glory to Mycenae. Okay, we have the intro from Total War Pharaoh. I don't really care about it. My land is stone and bronze, my people are sails and spears, and the speeding wheels of chariots. Okay, I do like the fact that they have brought some of the art from Total War Troy into the game, so you don't have the background being Egyptian. They have made it Greek themed. 1 point there for in favor of the Greek faction here in Total War Pharaoh, of course. We shall see.
The great green cradles, once magnificent Knossos. The North mainland is home to the great Achaeans, as they tell it anyway. But their legacy is not their own in truth. We know them as petty and prideful. Ships and warlust are the sum of their strength. At Mycenae's heart, formidable in his fortress-like palace, sits King Agamemnon. From on high, all he sees is land, his land. Yet the people below ship and tear at it. Agamemnon will not have it. He will humiliate his foes in battle and will enforce his kingship upon them. This he welcomes, just as much as the season's crop and cattle. He will then seek to impose his peculiar sort of unity even further. Across the waters, where Mycenae has often tried to gain a foothold. Troy has bitter memories of this. It will resist by any means, but others may welcome it. Some lands, though still fractured, have yielded to Achaean advances before. Mycenae will use the opportunity to present itself as a benign, strong sovereign. Any who would serve them might be spared the tensions and misfortunes growing across the region. The sea lanes of trade and prosperity have long bound our disparate lands together. Though now, I fear Messenians and others may seek to misuse them. In their rush to conquest, who knows how far they could reach? Maybe as far as the shores of my own Kemet. Agamemnon is determined to restore his people's fading luster. He would burnish the bronze of his Messenian domain. He would blind and buffet all who oppose his ambition. His single-mindedness is as sharp as the tip of a spear, pointing ever forward.
This might be one of the longest intros in any Total War. Impressive. So what do we have here? So faction building, more resources the higher your influence is. Good. Can stabilize the province more easily. Okay, we will have to see that. And then relies on having high influence. Okay, that is good to know. Faction units, high damage melee units, good maneuverability, and range units have shorter range. Okay. Commands, gain free ancillaries and native units for your faction leader. Construct main buildings and monuments more quickly and cheaply. And monuments. Okay, it's looking good. Court. Requests are much cheaper and do not cost a court action. Starting position, Mycenaean Hecatus. And what do we have here? Outposts. I think that these are unique, right? The ones which had the Mycenaean symbol or the faction symbol on it. An outpost is a building outside the region settlement. Yeah, I know that. Let's see. Shrine of Zeus. Okay, it's a Shrine of Zeus. Nothing too special there. Then we have Zeus, which we don't see the bonuses for, but we will check them out once we get into the gods. Some native units, terrain and weather. Let's see, the weather in the Aegean realms is mostly mild, with rain and fog being more common than sweltering heat. Aegean units are mostly suited to fighting in dry weather and on terrains with abundant vegetation, as a lot of them are trained to hide in tall grasses and shrubs. As such, they would have difficulties fighting in a desert or during sandstorms. Okay. Titles, yeah, we will see titles later. Dynasty. As Agamemnon, you start married with 2 children, a boy and a girl. Your son Odysseus will come to of age and be chosen as your presumptive scion, leaving you safe to put yourself in danger alongside your brother Menelaus. I see. I think that they've added this in with one of the expansion where now there are dynasties, you marry, you have children, and they will carry on your legacy. So basically your rulers will grow old and they will die at some point. Royal tradition. As Agamemnon is starting, Achaean has owned 4 sacred Aegean lands. To gain more legitimacy, expand north and conquer more settlements in Achaea, or sail to the east towards the realm of Asua and conquer more sacred Aegean lands. An ancient legacy. As Agamemnon, you can choose an ancient legacy of Atreus. Use it against your enemies to build dominance and gain advantages over weaker factions. Okay, so we're still playing into the faction system, it seems. Faction leader.
King Agamemnon.
Let's quickly check Agamemnon. Okay, there's one thing which I see here from the start, as far as, no, it's not a big deal, but as far as graphics go. You know how how Agamemnon's portrait looks? Let's see, where was the faction? There was a button which showed us faction summary. Oh no, he's showing it the same here. But in Total War Troy, you had like this super big Agamemnon, muscly, you know, the armor looked good on him. This is using the models from Total War Pharaoh, and I feel like in this situation, like he looks weak. He looks like his armor is oversized. And as someone who wore, as you know, as a kid, these oversized suits, because you couldn't, there wasn't really tailored suits, or they were super expensive where I couldn't get close to it. I have these pictures of me wearing these oversized suits and I look exactly like this. I think that's why it's unappealing to me. I would have liked to see the model be a bit more impressive. But either way, let's see what we have here. So common and medium armor, melee defense plus 10%, damage resistant versus missiles 6%, and we have a bludgeon, grants attribute to the bodyguard, armor breaker. Okay, that's nice. Plus 3 to melee attack and 3% melee lethality. Lethality is one of these recently added mechanics where there is a certain chance that you will pretty much critically hit an enemy and kill him outright. And the stronger the army is, the stronger the unit is, the more lethality it has, and thus can kill certain units a lot quicker. And this can pretty much speed up a battle, and it can also play into the mechanics of using multiple weaker units to fight a stronger unit and still be able to kill them even though they are heavily armored, right? You don't have these units when you bring in a heavily armored unit against multiple weaker units that they can't break through at all. They can't do any damage. In this situation, there is a certain percentage chance that they will outright kill units, you know, one at a time. It will take a long time, but it's still possible. So it balances out, I feel, the armies a tiny bit, especially when in the beginning of the game you have Egyptian units be very light and you go against one of the factions in the north where they start heavily armored, and there was always an imbalance early on in the game. Okay, we are very well balanced here in competencies, and we can pick either of these. Let's see. This is called Careless in Strikes, grants the ability Hit Them Hard, which lasts for 45 seconds and provides us with 20% extra melee damage, 8% more lethality, but reduces the melee defense by 5. Still pretty cool. We could get more battle loot and ancillary chance with Prudent Victory. This could be very good early on. And you can also go with Catch Your Breath, which happens constantly and replenishes the stamina of the unit's bodyguard. It doesn't seem like there's an aura around it, it's only for self. I don't think that this is as powerful for right now, so I'm either going to go with Hit 'em Hard Although this is an ability which feels very good for later on, let's go for battle loot and ancillary gain, as we will want to keep recruiting armies, putting them together, you know, and this extra loot is going to help us a lot with it. What else do we have up here? Victory objectives. We'll see some of the ones which we have unlocked right now. Homelands, control some of these areas. Sure, we will do some of that. Call centers. Feats of rule. A mighty ruler stakes their claim in all manner of ways. Take whatever opportunities arise to prove you are worthy. A king benefiting the proud peoples of the Aegean, ruling by blood and strength. Become Wanax and maintain rulership over the Aegean court. I see, so basically become very influent within the Aegean court. Royal decrees, our research here. The background looks different, right? Looks Greek instead of Egyptian, and it seems like some of these researches are very different. We start with Valor of the Pious, legitimacy from battle increased by 50%. And then we go with what? Reduced construction costs for management and administration, these being the main buildings of the settlement. Increased melee defense and damage versus missiles. Damage resistance versus missiles by 5%. 5% against missiles is not bad. Or we could get some XP per turn. Another one of those abilities or researches which will add up if we pick it up early on. 5% replenishment will also be very good. You know what? We are gonna get killed either way for early on, so let's go in this direction first. I want the XP per turn and I will want the promise of glory for that replenishment, just so we can constantly battle around this area as we try to establish ourselves. Diplomacy we don't care about at the moment. The ruling family, yeah, so this is pretty much how the new family tree looks, right? We start with Agamemnon, we have Clytemnestra. As a wife, she's obstinate, meaning that we have 2% less chance to having a child and marriage eligibility -2. And nothing much we can do there. Oreste is our child, he's 11, he will come of age. And then we have our daughter, which will take a long time to grow up. We don't have a scion at this moment. A scion is like our... What is it called? Our... next in line. I'll just read it there. The word doesn't come to mind, but he's the next in line if we die. Anything else? Show this is members. We don't care anything about this situation. We don't care about anything in there at the moment. I do like that the UI has also changed in graphics. You know, they're small things, but I do want to talk about them because I will be comparing this a lot, especially early on.
The mighty
Mycenae militia, we have some island skirmishers which seem decent enough. Vitality bonus versus large and armor piercing. We have some palace guards which are absolutely dominating the battlefield at this point of the game. What else do we have? Elite Mycenaean Axeman. This is our brother, I'm guessing. Yeah, our brother Menelaus. He doesn't have a lot of experience, he's not really that great, but he's immune to flanking, and that is really nice. I am thinking that at least this elite Mycenaean Axeman, I will be providing them to Agamemnon. And there's an army here, as per usual. We start with the battle, so let's just jump straight into it and see how it goes. In a way, this should feel fairly familiar. Apparently we are fighting a general with heavy units. Heavy swordsman, we'll have to take care of that, or be careful with that. Then we have two medium spearmen. For the rest of the unit we don't care, but these are, I believe, are called young bloods or something like that, and they are very strong on the offensive side. Lowered visibility in the fog. Or let's see, rain. Yeah, I don't really like the rain. Okay, we're in normal weather and it's going to be a thunderstorm at some point if the battle lasts for too long. Our reinforcements arrive from this direction. Okay, that is totally fine. We'll throw a quick formation here, throw our militia first because we don't care much about them. Then we're going to have the palace guards. I'll keep Agamemnon behind to support one of these units. We'll figure out which one. And then we'll have our javelins. I guess I'll have the javelins over here. As reinforcements come in,
Reinforcements! Thank the gods!
we might try to do some flanking. I don't see where the other units are. We have a bunch of militia here as well.
Stay tight!
Let's see, at least as the general looks, does it have a different model? Like, does he look stronger?
Leave that body
Okay, at least here he looks pretty strong, right? He's looking... maybe I spoke too soon. But I guess he's decent. Okay, I don't know where the hero is. I'm guessing he's somewhere on the hill there. Which is a bit annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, how quickly do we tire out? We're still fresh. These ones are running, so that's what I want to see. Okay, now they're active. Yeah, and they've taken the hill. They're playing super defensively here. I think at this point I'm gonna walk with those. I am going to bring Agamemnon to the side. Trying to confuse them just a bit. They have bowmen, which have decent range. Okay, I guess at this point we should be rushing them. Okay, we're starting to get bombarded, so I'm gonna start pushing Agamemnon forward. With these javelins, I will want them on this side actually, because I do want them to... Oh, young spears they're called. I do want the javelins to be shooting at some of these heavier units, medium to heavy units. We could really take out his general by using those javelins, so that's what I'm thinking. Let's bring them here, let's bring our axes forward. Okay. You... I'm not sure whether to engage the young spears. I think... Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Javelins. Yeah, let's try to engage these renowned armored lingers first. Bring Agamemnon forward. Yeah, we're gonna go there with you. Young spears. I don't care too much about them. We'll bring you here. Engage the young spears with Agamemnon. Let's go forward here. What's this? Young spears.
Your warriors are wavering.
Okay, the militia are wavering. We're gonna use the javelins in this situation to... Oh, are they doing a bit of flanking there? Javelin starts shooting at his general. Let's bring these axes in the back of the general here. Let's bring the general over here as well.
One of your units has depleted their
I mean, maybe I should cancel guard mode because they're behaving very badly, to be honest. Let's get you into the fight here. Javelins shoot at his key and spearmen. Yeah, you get into that. You get over here. Javelins, you are out of javelins.
Your warriors have been routed.
Okay, the militia seems to be very bad at this. Maybe I should be locking hide foliage just to see what's going on at all times. Okay, you get into there. Let's get into the back of these young
It's within your
bloods.
grasp. Destroy the foe.
Gonna go there.
Ready to throw.
This militia, I guess I'll turn
Ready to serve.
them back.
Attack.
Let's keep
Destroy the
pressure
foe.
on his general.
Watch our flanks. Defeat is looming.
Now the battle is over, but at least I want to take out his general before anything
The
else.
enemy general has perished.
Perfect. And just to fix it now, game default guard mode. It's very risky to remove guard mode because at times when the enemy unit is running away, they will follow, and they will follow so much that they will go through other units and take a lot of damage in the process of it. I don't know, the recent guard mode and the recent behavior, the recent being in the last Total Wars, the behavior of units have been very weird with guard mode or off guard mode. Because in the past, when a unit was running away, if you put an attack order on that unit with one of your units, then they would follow it. But if they encountered another unit along the way, they would stop and they would fight with that unit. So they wouldn't pursue the retreating unit further than the first engagement. And I feel like that worked a lot better. I don't know why it doesn't work nowadays, but what can you do? So what do we want here? Do we want the replenishment? It doesn't seem like it's adding a whole lot. I think I prefer the resources for now.
Let them go.
Now the
King
unit here got
Agamemnon.
destroyed just because this is the starting battle. And in the starting battle you get this extra, like they are defeated once already. So
I
that
cannot
when
do
you
that.
defeat them once, you don't have to fight them again. Good. I will be attacking Corinth
Not a
next.
chance.
I want to take the region from them. We're gonna do
Together
this.
as one. Orphan their offspring.
If I auto-resolve this battle, I will take a few losses, but no one will actually die. So let's do this.
We vanquished them.
What do we want? We want to just occupy at the moment, because this is our main region. Sacred land occupied.
Welcome boost.
Does it say anything here, like sacred? Do we know which one is a sacred land? At least I cannot see it right now. We have a Hittite consort. It doesn't tell us what these do, so we'll have to go into the character screen
Lord of men.
and just see. Tracker, movement on land decreased by 10% for enemy armies in the region. Okay, that is a good bonus. And Hittite Consort provides us with +5 diplomatic relations faction-wide. Okay, that is actually a good bonus to there. For now, where do we want to invest our points? Reducing our upkeep by 10% is not bad. We would get a bit more line of sight and some influence. We could also go for more battle loot, and I think that is the way to go, because it's also giving us 10% replenishment. Movement, yeah, definitely going this way. So now we're getting even more battle loot. What ability do we want from this area? Bronze upkeep reduced by 25% for armies with 10 units or fewer. For armies with 10 units or fewer. So it's like building a raiding army of very heavy units, I guess, and you would throw this in. I can see a raiding party, right? You don't want a raiding party which costs a lot of resources, because you are using it in order to sack other regions and thus improving your upkeep, improving your resources, and thus bronze upkeep reduction seems interesting, right? Useful. Resource from ransoming increased by 100% here. That could be good. Movement restored after battle, 20%. I feel like this one is probably the most useful from the early ones. If we go for 4 points investment in all of these, we would get 75 XP per turn. We would get raiding income 20%. I'm not really someone who plays with raiding unless we're doing one of those campaigns using a horde mechanic. But even then, influence plus 6. We could get more diplomatic relations, melee attack increased by 15%, and missile damage increased by 15% for tier 4 and 5 units above. Some of these are good. We shall figure out later on what we want to fully invest in.
Supreme
Let's
warrior
exchange
the
some of the
Aegean.
units. I want to leave Menelaus alone for a while, and thus I'm thinking I'm gonna at least throw in this island skirmisher plus the elite Mycenaean axemen to Agamemnon. And let's see
Let
what we
my
could
enemies
recruit. Some
beware.
young spears and Aegean slingers. Now we have the javelins, so we don't care for slingers, even though they have a bigger range. But I am going to bring 2 young spears.
Supreme warrior of the Aegean.
For now, I'm going to keep Menelaus here with us. As far as competencies go, I think I'm gonna go with the same idea, battle loot. So let's go like that, throw this ability in. And that's about it.
That will never work.
No
I
one
could
shall slight me.
still go and attack this army,
Everlasting glory.
but I do want the replenishment. I don't want to lose any of the units at the moment.
have
We'll
to
see what this
refuse.
army decides to do. As far as territory goes, let's see, what else did we get here? Battle reports, characters affairs. Got 2 points for there. We have 2 settlements. Sintera here, with Sparta, Sintera, Pylos, and Altis, which is not ours. Then we have the region of Tyrrhenes, which we need Aegeon to take full control of the region. So I guess we're gonna go at war with this faction. And how about our diplomatic relations? How do they look? I don't think we have to go here. I think we can just zoom out, right? And it's showing us already. Now if we go for diplomatic status, they are neutral to us. No, they're actually friendly towards us. Pylos is friendly, the Arcadians are friendly, Athena is a bit unfriendly, and that's about it. I'm not sure we're gonna ally them. I think we need both this region in order to unite everything. So I think we're gonna make enemies inland before expanding towards the east. That's my thought for right now. And we're losing some money. There is a gold province up here. Yeah, we're definitely going to war with them. No point around them. Let's see. Bronze. We have stone. I think for early buildings we need wood and we need food in order to upkeep our armies, right? This region, happiness is going down from taxes. In this region, we don't have military buildings in Mycenae. We can build the Cyclopean walls. What else do we have available here? A Temple of Zeus would provide us with some favor, some happiness, and production to all resources increased by 5%. We have the Grand Temple of Zeus as well, which provides us with favor, legitimacy, 15% reduced upkeep for armies in the province, and 15% extra resources in the province. What about some units? Let's see. Native Masterfield, which will provide us with better spears and some clubmen. We could get some swordsmen as well on the battlefield, which wouldn't be bad. We could get some chariots, which could be very strong, although I don't know how well they function at this point. Olive groves will provide us with happiness, food and workforce growth. I think that for now we are thinking military, right? Native master field sounds like a good idea to me. Maybe even a bunch of swords. Do we have... We don't have idle workforce anymore. Maybe in Sparta we can throw something. We can upgrade this building, which would allow us to get closer to produce even more food. Let's see, we're producing food there. We don't have wood at the moment in any of our regions. So let's boost that up as well, as we will need it. This is something which we will demolish later on, but to begin with I think it's totally fine. Anything else? Outposts? Yeah, we can construct a few outposts as well. What could we get? Military outposts. Sure, some XP per turn, like this might be valuable, I guess, some replenishment, but it does have food upkeep. We could get a bit more legitimacy as well. We could get some attrition immunity, desert. Not something which we need, but it could increase our movement, right, if we go to it. All resources in the region increase by 10%, that sounds really good to me. And a Shrine of Zeus. We already have here a temple. I am thinking that over here we could get some extra resources. And even in Sparta I will do pretty much the same. Oh no, here is Sparta over here? Yeah. Okay. So not there, I want in Mycenae somewhere. This is too close to the battlefield, I don't like it. I am thinking maybe throwing it here. We'll do that. Good enough for now, construction available, yeah, we'll leave it at this. What is he doing? He's attacking. Why? Okay, he feels that because we have many weak units, he is going to be able to take us on. He has a bunch of medium, he is a heavy spearman. I don't know, I guess we'll take a bunch of losses, but I think we'll be fine. And because we're gonna defeat him on this occasion, he's not gonna be able to run away enough. We're gonna get the replenishment at the end of the turn, and we'll be able to counterattack him and thus take him out, which plays in our favor. Let's see. We get extra morale, we get extra stamina. He's starting with all his units gathered together. We get the reinforcements from nearby. I think what I mostly want to do is probably just go forwards towards him. I am going to be using these units, which are the garrisons, which are already weakened, but I'm going to use them as sort of target practice for his archers. Then we're gonna take our units here. We're having the javelins attack as well. We'll leave the rest of the javelins to just go around and try to flank him at some point. And maybe it's not necessarily a bad idea to try to bring these units around as well. Right? Just use the militia at the moment and use Agamemnon as sort of a morale booster. You go control 2 and keep formation. You go control 1 and that's it. You come here. You stay around like so.
They'll drown in their own blood.
Now we'll just leave them to get closer to us. Okay, now they're breaking away. I am going to go forward and engage here. Now we're gonna go and attack his archers. No point in sitting around.
All right.
I think he's gonna fire on our general, but that's fine.
Your
He's
general
heavy.
is under attack.
He's going to be able to hold.
In good order. Slingshots. Destroy the foe.
Yeah, you keep going there. I guess they're charging us here. I am going to hold the line. I think we're going to have to support them here.
Pathetic word. I'll cut you to pieces.
Yeah, we're gonna hold the line there. We're gonna try to break.
Pharaoh.
No, you keep going forward. Go towards his archers. Don't let them alone. The AI is doing a whole lot better on flanking nowadays. I think.
Slings away.
Your warriors are wavering.
Don't hold back.
Yep.
Ready.
Very impressive. I am happy to see this. The AI was really bad at flanking in the last time I played it. And so I'm happy to see this. Like, they're flanking our general. Super impressive.
Your general is under attack.
Let's go here.
Destroy them.
You engage there.
Menelaus. Courage. Javelin volley.
Cool.
Retreat. You are no match for me.
Yeah, now we're breaking the young bloods.
Lord of war. To war.
Swords.
Good, those archers are done. Let's keep going here.
Your warriors have been routed.
Totally fine, totally fine.
Javelins away.
Mycenae forever.
Menelaus.
Menelaus, I want you to retreat.
This way. Forward.
Go through the units.
Stay tight.
The young bloods are broken, so I just want you to get out at this point.
All will fall.
He's retreating, just don't die.
Axes.
Let's throw these big axes towards his general because they will be the elite Mycenaean axemen will be great in this situation.
Ready for
One of your units has depleted their ammunition.
Okay, well, it's time to engage them in melee if that is the case. You fire upon these young spears before they return. Let's bring these units forward here.
Let's see blood.
And let's throw some javelins at the side of these units. I think at this point it doesn't really matter a whole lot. What we're doing is just a matter of time. And I think what I want to do at the end of this battle is kill his general. The reason why is
Your
because
unit has depleted their ammunition.
it showed us on the battle map or on the campaign map that he had equipment. So even though he's going to be recruiting a new unit, he's going to have less equipment,
is within your
most
grasp.
likely. So if I follow him and I take him out, then he should
enemy
have
general has
less equipment with the next general, or even less experience. How many losses did we get? About 140? Close to that. I think we're totally fine. We've broken most of their units. With the turns of replenishment, we can go towards them and we can pretty much take them out. Now, the only thing that I'm wondering is whether we should stay still or whether we should push towards their settlement. More food or some replenishments? Let's get more food.
A natural progression.
They might be attacking us because they don't have a settlement anymore. That is the situation. Well, the situation is better then. because I thought that we might have to go towards the east in order to fight, maybe take over another one of their settlements, at which point we would be getting closer to Athens and some of the factions which are more unfriendly to us, and thus we would be at risk of getting engaged here, while I want to turn my attention towards the west and at least secure these two regions, probably Pylos as well, and then we can make friends with some of the other factions around. We gained a new item called Administrative
King
Ledger.
Agamemnon.
We've also leveled up. This one reduces the workforce cost for administration type buildings. I think I'm gonna give this to Menelaus, and I think I'm gonna keep him somewhere at home to protect the area. What do I want to do going forward? Resource from ransoming, that could have been good. Movement restored after battle. I believe that is the first ability which I care for. Yeah, plus we're getting some extra movement. So let's try to increase this. Yeah, 1 turn of replenishment, as you can see.
Supreme warrior of the
It's doing
Aegean.
great for us. I'm going to push forward
Together
here to be
as
in
one.
range and make sure that
Forfeit
Menelaus
their
is getting
offspring.
some experience as well. An auto result here. Can I skip this? Yep.
A great day for
What do I
Mycenae.
want? I guess I do want the resources.
Ever more powerful. Such warriors
Now we are
ensure
able
my
to
might.
recruit some young spears and some swordsmen. What is the next level of this building? We need 2 workforce. It's not gonna provide us a lot better swordsmen, but at least it's giving us some two-handed axemen, which could be great for flanking. We need level 3 building here in order to get our first medium units to heavy
Wide
units.
ruling king.
Okay. Do I throw in a spy here? Can we throw in a spy? Is this something that we can do in Total War
Companion
Pharaoh?
of
Yes.
Ares.
But it's 200 gold. Most of our gold, and we are losing gold per turn. I do need that region. So for
Drawn
now,
in
I'm just gonna
conflict.
push Agamemnon forward.
Brother to Ares.
I am going to bring
Guard
him,
the perimeter.
Menelaus, to Mycenae, just in case he has to attack or intercept an army from here.
I'll win.
But they're moving
Won't I
forward.
try?
Are they at
We've
war?
got plenty to discuss.
Yes. With the Tillybones here. Okay. That works for me.
Might prevails.
We're getting good replenishments, which is great.
Execute my will.
Now, do I want Mycenaean militia? I think I want more young bloods rather than the others. Armor, they have 30, these have 10. Morale is the same. Speed, they are faster. The spears are faster. Melee attack is pretty much the same. Melee defense, the militia have better melee defense. The young spears have lethality. So that is the big thing, while the militia do not. And they have a better charge bonus than these ones. I do need to have some staying power at the end of the day,
A
right?
god
So
among
with that
men.
in mind, maybe
expect
we're
to
gonna
be
get 2 more
obeyed.
units of militia just to have some sort of a
What I
line.
see, I own.
Okay. For
Strong
you,
defense.
what do I give you further? What's good for this particular army? Let's say that I keep him at home, but I don't. Then what I will do, we'll go to replenishments first and the extra battle loot. I am going to give you the ledger. Because I want you to keep building these areas. As far as resources go, we just need the gold more than anything else. We can't really build anything special. I could get a bit more food here. Because this is a food settlement, this is a stone settlement. Yeah, let's bring in more food. Main reason why is because we will want it later whenever we want to recruit more units.
The voice of war.
Anything else here? Outpost construction. Do I want to go even further with the outposts? I mean, it doesn't hurt, right, to have outposts over here. But I will need to secure the region more than anything. I could get some happiness. If I go with one of these shrines of Zeus, we could get positive happiness in this region. And with higher happiness, we get more growth to the workforce. And thus, we would be able to expand these main regions. I think that's about it for this turn. We're going to end it. And during the next turn, we shall see some new decisions being made. Or do we have to go through an entire year before that happens? For example, choosing a deity, or even be part of the council. I think the council is after a year or two. Civilization prospers. Okay, now we have the pillars of civilization once more. We have abundance, increasing the workforce. We are staying in prosperity at the moment, in which we get replenishments. And if we keep going downwards, we are going to get a lot more resources from raising settlements. So if we go in this direction, we might want to start burning certain areas in order for us to build and survive. Okay, then we have our gods. Cool. So we start with Zeus in a pretty good situation because we already have those temples. We can do Hecatomb once again. Our shrines provides happiness, yeah, and reduced reduction cost for management and administration in the region. Prayers would provide us with 12% to armies and 15% reduction in fatigue buildup. We are at level 2. And that means that the devoted general would get aura size increased by 20% and missile damage increased by 14%. For javelins, we need to keep javelins in the army instead of slingers. Like, this bonus is huge. So if we go this way, we would have 25% more missile damage and increased aura size and reduced 20% fatigue buildup. Yeah, there's quite a few bonuses here. We're gonna stay with Zeus for the moment. What other gods do we have? Zeus, Poseidon, Ares. We can discover Apollo and Aphrodite. Okay, well, let's choose Agamemnon as the devoted general.
Inspiration possess you.
Pending actions, we can upgrade a few more settlements. I think I want to recruit first before doing anything else.
King
We can
Agamemnon.
already reach that. But what I want to do is get closer, make sure we get
Forward march.
one more turn of replenishments,
Mycenae
and
needs
recruit,
you.
yeah, finally, some better units. I am going to recruit some club warriors rather than spears, just because
I
of
will
the extra
suffer
damage that
no
we can get.
incompetence.
For this region, we're doing okay on bronze, we're doing okay on everything. Reduce construction cost for all building by 15%. I believe that this building could be good. Diplomatic relations will increase by 5, getting some extra happiness will also help us a lot, and reduce the construction time of all buildings in the region. I feel that to start with, this building will pay itself off very quickly. It doesn't even have a high cost. I do need more wood though. Maybe we'll upgrade this as soon as we have the idle workforce here. Do we have a wood region? We have more bronze, more food, more gold. See no wood in the air. There's one here. We would have to attack Thebes in order to get this. And maybe once we secure this region, we're gonna turn our attention towards Thebes. That might be our first enemy. Sure. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this turn. Construction available, garrison, yeah. The rest of the things we don't care about for right now. We'll have about 5 more minutes in this episode. I'm just gonna attack the settlement and I think we're gonna close it for the day. This is going to be the longest episode, generally speaking, in Total War, in Europa Universal, in any of these games. Doing your first few turns takes the longest as you are trying to establish yourself, to figure out everything that there is on the
Defending
map.
righteous.
Okay, we research, we have the Royal Decree, the life of a soldier. We get now 75 XP per turn, which is great. And we're gonna go with replenishment next. Although we had a lot of replenishment, to be honest, in our main regions. So maybe we might want to turn our attention to something else, like recruitment rank for general +2, XP from battles. A lot of extra XP from battles. Now let's go with the Promise of Glory and get this replenishment. And a Promise of Glory and gilded statues studded with precious gems. Come with me and you will have all that and more. Definitely.
Shepherd of the people.
Are they... They are military partners with Pylos, but we will be okay. Your reliability rating will change around 0. Declaring war while having treaties or shortly after breaking them is considered an act of treachery and is condemned by all factions. Turns remaining 5. You know what?
It's your funeral.
It's the beginning of the game. We're gonna take some losses
Fall
here,
upon them.
but I think I've played very diplomatically when playing Total War Troy.
Let my enemies beware.
And in a sense, that did create certain problems because these regions are very rich. Having them under you, under your control,
Victory feast.
can really push us forward,
Take it over.
right?
My renown grows.
So now we're at war. Pylos did not join them. Yeah, we're still okay with Ithaca.
With Athena's blessing.
We're okay with Pylos. We are still on Steadfast. Well, now I don't know if I'll keep relations with Pylos. I do want the bronze from them as well. But do we have the
Negotiation
option
is still an option.
of confederation? We do. They don't like us at this point, but we can. Legitimacy support. Okay, sure. Agamemnon.
The lion of Mycenae.
Since we are still part of the same region, we can bring in more units and better
Can
units.
you fight?
So we're gonna bring
Can
in
you kill?
two of these medium spears as well.
The mighty.
We're in
Saxon.
such a good position right now. And as far as abilities go, I think I've said I want this movement restored after battle. So we're gonna go in this direction with Ardor. And if he attacks us There's not a whole lot of buildings that he can raise or sack. And if he is attacking Mycenae, we do have a pretty good army here. You can see those really heavy units there. They cannot take either Mycenae nor Sparta. With the garrison that we have, with the units that we have, they won't be able to do anything to us.
I will not give
Did
up.
we take the entire region of Mycenae? We did. So we can throw, either let our laborers rest, increasing our workforce but decreasing the food. We could get more happiness but increase recruitment costs. We don't want that right now. Reduce upkeep for all units and get reduced recruitment costs could help. Production of all resources. I think we're gonna go with production of all resources for right now. There's also one more thing here. Oath of Allegiance, increasing our recruitment costs, reducing recruitment costs by 50%, and upkeep of native units by 50%. But production of all resources is decreased by 75%, and workforce growth in the region decreased by 30%. Yeah, I can see this being very useful when we're recruiting a new armies at some point, but for now I think I do want the income as we do need it.
I overcome all.
Okay, I think overall I am happy with how things went so far. I can upgrade maybe one of these swords. Do I need the heavier javelins? Could help. But let's upgrade our gold. We're producing more. I don't think I want the workforce growth anymore. But for now, let's just upgrade the settlement and leave it at that. Right? I think that makes sense. And we can get some extra stone over here. And some extra stone from over here. At the end of the day, I think having more stone will mean that we can upgrade more buildings later on. Plus, we can trade it for some wood, especially since we do need it. And I think that that's about it. Yeah, I'll do another end turn. We'll see what happens and we'll call it a day. I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode and the beginning of the campaign. I really hope, not only for you, but for my sake as well, that this is going to be an interesting campaign, a fun campaign. We shall see how the big battles play out. Those should be very interesting to see. And I haven't seen any major monument just yet, which, for the main region of Mycenae and Sparta, I feel like there should be certain things present. But we shall see. Choose an ambition. Expansion. I do want to expand, so this could be good. Peace and its discontents. Win 3 battles. Or borders? What borders? Make sure that the following faction is destroyed. The Arcadians. It would provide us with a lot more wood. And I think I do want a lot more wood. 10 turns to do this? Sure. We would become warlike and a raider. They have taunted you for long enough. Show the world your unquestionable might. March on your enemy benign lands. Shine your light upon them to make them yours. We have our ambition. We're gonna take them out. We're gonna have an interesting battle here as there are 8 units plus another 10.
Not a chance.
And we're bringing our armies to them. Should be a nice start of the next episode. Until tomorrow, if you like what I do and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon page which I've just opened, where I'll be adding some more content with reviews of new and old games. I'll also be sharing the occasional story about computers and games in the late 90s, early 2000s in Eastern Europe where I live, and recently I've gotten more and more interested in pixel art and I've started on this long journey. So if you're interested in that as well, I'll be sharing some thoughts, some of the apps that I'm using, some of the people that I'm trying to learn from, and who knows, maybe at some point we can share some art and learn from each other. With this in mind, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for your support, and I wish you all to have a wonderful day.